Today we're core aerating, and we're about to start right now. Hi everyone, Rob, the Average Lawn Guy. Thanks for tuning in. So I did my core aeration, but unfortunately I don't have it on video to show you. I just have it on my security cam, and I had a company come out and do it for me. They charged $99 for my whole property, and it was well worth the effort. Core aeration, when you do it yourself, it's very labor intensive, and renting a machine from Home Depot, for example, costs about $89, $90 for the day. So when the company charged me $99 to do it and they sent a two-man crew, it's a no-brainer for me. They're able to knock it out in half the time I would be able to do it myself. But it is a project you can do yourself, but it is labor intensive. So as you can see here, they came out in a two-man crew, did the core aeration. Unfortunately, they only went one direction. I would have preferred that they went in two different directions, meaning go north-south and then east and west. But it is what it is, and it's fine. Now here's the aftermath of the core aeration. You can see the plugs are on the front lawn right here. Now normally when I front lawn, what I normally do is take either the back of a rake or take a leveler, which I currently have, and I kind of go over the surface with the leveler. And the reason why I do that is because I want to help break down the cores themselves and bring it back down to the ground. You see, my front lawn is almost black rich dirt, so I tend to kind of deposit it back in the ground. You want to do that if you have that dark rich dirt in your lawn. And you can see here I'm breaking it in my hands. It breaks very easily, so I have no problems depositing this back into the turf. Now the reason why my front turf is that dark rich black soil is because over the past 2 years I have top dressed it with compost. So top dressing kind of benefits the turf long term, where you're able to kind of transform that clay soil into that black rich soil that everybody wants. Now my backyard is a different story. Now you can see here, I kind of did this just for the video purposes, but I kind of raked up all the cores into one big pile, and it is basically clay. With clay, I don't deposit it back into my yard. So what I normally do is just pick up the cores myself and just dispose of them. And the reason why is because it doesn't make sense to deposit red clay when you're trying to break it up. So we need to talk about why we need to aerate and why it's beneficial. First of all, you're going to improve the air exchange. That's a no given. You're opening up the turf, and that's going to allow better exchange of oxygen with the turf. The second reason is you're going to improve the water intake. You see, as the turf, especially red clay, it gets compacted over time, and that's not going to allow water penetration. So by poking holes and removing the cores, you're going to allow for better water penetration. On top of that, now because you're reducing the surface tension, you're going to improve water runoff and puddling. Your grass is going to have stronger roots. It's going to be able to tolerate the drought and the heat better. It's obviously going to reduce soil compaction, and it's going to help with thatch breakdown. Thatch breakdown for Bermuda lawns is kind of a given for me, because every year when I scalp, you try to bag up as much clippings as you can, but you're only able to grab so much. So what happens as you scalp your turf, some of those clippings are going to deposit back into the ground, and that's going to build up with thatch over time. So what core aeration does is break that up and reduce it. So whether you want to core aerate yourself or have a company come out and do it, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. First, about 24 hours before, you want to water the turf. You want to water very good, and the reason why is because you want to allow those dyes to penetrate the turf and pull out some good cores. So when the turf is dry, it may not be able to go in as deep as you like. By having a moist turf, the dyes are able to dig in deeper and pull out those cores much more easily. Now when you core aerate, you want to make sure you're going in two different directions. You want to go up and down, and then you want to go left to the right. You want to get as much holes as you can per square foot. Very important. Now in regards to the cores, what do you do with them? Well, if you have clay soil, I would recommend you just bag it up. There's really no point in redepositing clay soil. The ultimate goal long term is to transform your soil from clay to that dark black rich dirt. So I would pick up your cores. Now if you don't have clay soil, I would just go ahead and redeposit it back into the turf. You have nutrients that's in the cores themselves, so it will break down naturally. Now there's one thing I want you to consider. After you pick up the cores and you have an open turf full of holes, I would recommend, if you can, top dress your lawn. You want to top dress it with a compost mixture, and that's going to fill the holes in the turf, and that's going to ultimately help transform your clay soil into black rich soil. So if you can, top dress your turf. And the term top dressing just means applying a light layer of soil over your existing turf. It's very helpful and it's very healthy for the turf long term. Now after you poke a bunch of holes in the turf, your grass is going to be stressed. So one of the things you can help your grass recover is to fertilize, lightly fertilize, and then water the turf. This is going to help your grass recover from that stress. So remember, core aeration is very helpful and it's good for your turf. So consider doing it. At the very least, hire a company to do it if you don't want to do it yourself. It is labor intensive. So I hope you found this video useful, and stay tuned for more videos. With that, thanks for watching. Take care.